Alright, what is up you guys? So I am actually refilming this. The card that I had in my camera yesterday got corrupted somehow, and for whatever reason the first half of the whole thing did not save. It just came up as weird question marks on my camera, so that's cool. So you're gonna see this in 2 different days technically. Maybe you won't notice, I don't know. I'm wearing the same exact thing because I've been wearing the same exact thing for an entire year, pretty much. Anyways, let's get started. We are making a vegan Caesar salad with all your toppings. So first things first, we need to make the dressing. So, because we want to make the dressing first also, simply because you want it to sit for a little while and get cold, so that when you're finished making everything, it's nice and cold on your salad, and yeah, it'll get a little bit warm from the blender. But anyways, I digress. Let's go on. First thing we need is some cashews. Most recipes, I think all of the recipes, say that you need raw ones. However, I know those are very expensive and a little bit hard to come by for some people. So you can use whatever you like. I actually just got roasted ones. Get them unsalted. Okay, so we got about a half a cup here. Our second ingredient is going to be water. So you want to use about 1/4 of a cup. However, some of these things that we're putting in have a bit of moisture, so be careful. I would put about 1/2 of the 1/4 of a cup to start. Add in more later if you feel like it needs it. The next thing is going to be some extra virgin olive oil. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons, I believe. Yes, 2 tablespoons. Now that I've made this recipe 2 days in a row, maybe I have it completely memorized and I won't have to check my notes. 1, 2. Okay. Our next recipe is going to be some lemon juice. We only need about 1 tablespoon of that. Feel free to measure it or not if you're super confident. That's almost a full one. Just need a little bit more. And remember that we're going to be using lemons later on top of the entire salad, so you don't want this to take like that flavor to take over the entire recipe. Our next recipe, or our next ingredient, is going to be Dijon mustard, and I think we're only doing 1 tablespoon of that. 1/2 tablespoon. All right. And this is going to add like a tangy flavor to it. Right on. Okay, and then we're going to do some garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon. That's 1 teaspoon. Oh, I'm making a mess here. Classic. 1/2 teaspoon. And then we need capers. So we need about, or actually no, sorry. Yeah, capers, I mean, we'll do that one next, I guess. We need about 2 teaspoons of capers. And yeah, try not to get any of the caper juice in, but if you do, that's okay. And that's why I said add less water at first, because you might get a bit of this in there. So there we go. 2 teaspoons of that guy. And then whatever Vegan Worcestershire sauce you have. If you don't have it, it's not a make or break for this recipe. But yeah, if you do, go for it. Whatever brand you like. I just had this one because it was a part of like a giveaway I won on Instagram. So you need about 1/2 teaspoon of that. And yeah, just don't worry about it if you don't have it. It's not going to kill your recipe at all. And then we need a couple of cloves of garlic, which hilariously I did not prepare. And you don't need to cut them, just get the skin off. And all of the recipes that I've looked at said to do only 1, but I like it to be super garlicky. So 2, 1, too. And then just a little bit of salt and pepper, so as usual, but don't go heavy on the salt. Every piece of this recipe has salt in it. Or every step of this, like every part has salt. And you can always add more, you can't take it away. Then you want to blend that up for about a minute, and then huck it in the fridge, and then we're going to get to the next step. So yeah, it looks pretty creamy and thick, so it is going to thicken up, again, like I said, once you let it sit for a little bit. So this is where you decide if you're going to add in a little bit more water. I am, but not all of it. So I'm just going to let it blend for another 30 seconds and then put it in the fridge to let it get cold. All right, so it should have like a bit of like air bubbles in it, and that's kind of how you know that's at the right spot. That's how I know that it's at the right spot. Anyways, so I'm just gonna put this in the fridge and yeah, let it get cold and move on to the next step. So on to the next part of this recipe. We're going to be making a vegan Parmesan because, I mean, why wouldn't you put that literally on everything? It's delicious. I've made vegan Parmesan a few different ways. This way, since I was able to try it yesterday, was the first time I tried that. It's better. I like it more than I like the other way. And maybe I'll share that with you another time. This one's just actually a cheesier looking one in my opinion. The other one's kind of more dry, which it's still very good, but yeah. Anyways, I digress. So the first thing we're gonna add again is a little bit of cashews. So if you have a food processor, this is one of those recipes that's kind of perfect for that. We need a little bit of hemp seeds. I kind of need like 2 tablespoons of that. Yes. So quite a lot. 1, 2. You know what? I have like a little bit more left in this jar, so I'm just gonna put them in. It's just gonna make it nicer. So yeah, 2 of those. And again, most recipes are calling for 1 garlic clove. I'm putting 2. If you're not a garlic lover, just put 1. And then we are putting in some nutritional yeast. So we need a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. I feel like I put this in almost every single savory recipe, but honestly it never disappoints, so whatever. Alright, and then we need 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Alright. And then we need a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Again, chill out on the salt on this. You can always add some more later. I think that you could probably also still do this in a blender, just you can't blend it to death, and that's the trick of this specific recipe, because if you keep on blending it, it is going to turn into a paste. We're not looking for a Parmesan paste, we're looking for a Parmesan. And that'll do. So just a couple of pulses, and that's what that guy looks like. So you can transfer it to another container and put it in your fridge. All right, I'm not sure where that cut me off, but just to recap, sourdough bread chopped up into little pieces, a 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, with a little bit of salt. And then I've just mixed them all together, so they should look kind of like orangey, yellowy. And that means they're all evenly coated. And now you want to spread them in, like, across your baking sheet as much as possible, so that they're hopefully not layering on top of each other for the most part. So they should look something like this. And your oven should be on 400 degrees Fahrenheit again. And we're going to put them in for 10 minutes. Set your 10-minute timer, and in the meantime, clean all this up and start chopping. Okay, so one thing I did want to give a tip about before I get to chopping on these greens here is, if you're going to use kale, there are two things you're going to want to do. First of all, you need to separate it from the spine, which is this guy here. You can just put that right in the compost. So yeah, that entire thing, gonzo. Don't eat it. Secondly, it's like, if you've ever touched kale, it's like really rough. You don't want to eat it like that. So just literally take it in your hands and massage it. Break it down a little bit. Normally, if you're using like a kind of like not cream sauce, you just sort of massage in your like lemon juice or whatever else in with this, and it'll break it down and make it just easier to digest. So yeah, just crunch it up. You're not going to murder it. So, and then obviously just chop it up. But kale is a great add for this salad, because then you know you're getting in a good amount of protein. And also, if you are gluten-free and you can't find any sort of gluten-free bread to use for your croutons, you can also actually just use chickpeas. They'll use the same ingredients. They'll just take a little bit longer to bake up. I would get the canned ones and dry them off as much as possible. And also keep in mind that if you're using chickpeas instead, that's a lot more protein. So if you're not used to like a high protein diet, be careful how much you add. All right, so that's that. That can go off to the side. Let's grab our sauce. So I just grabbed the stuff that I had made up yesterday, because that stuff is still, the other one is still cooling. Obviously I'll use it all, I'm not gonna be wasting it. And then yeah, just add the amount that you like. I found that like about 3 of these is good, like it nice and creamy. And then you can add in your Parmesan right away or on top, however you like it. I'm just gonna add it right away. P.S. This is 2 recipes worth in here, so you're not making this much, you'll be making about half as much. It's just a tiny mason jar. So I'd say that's about that much. I don't know, 3 tablespoons. So then yeah, obviously just mix it up. And the next thing you want to do is add your croutons. I already made these yesterday. This was the only part of the video that didn't get deleted. In any case, these are crazy addictive. Almost this whole container was full, so that's why I didn't want to remake them, because I didn't want to eat more of them because they're too addictive and I can't stop eating them. So anyways, recipe for that is going to be very simple and it's in the description. So yeah, just add in how many croutons you like, and like that. Mix it up. Okay, and And I'll put it on a plate so that I can show you a close-up of like how it will look entirely. All right. So there we have it. Vegan Caesar salad with all of the toppings. And of course you can add like a fake meat to this if you want. I've tried the Gardein, no, is it Gardein? Yeah, Gardein breaded sticks, and those are pretty nice on here, just chopped up. But like this, it's totally fine too, and super tasty. So please try this recipe. I made the video twice. Anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you want to be notified for the next time my videos come out. Peace.